When looking at the Deity Pocket Wireless system, there's 4 key features I want you to know about, because any one of these 4 key features are ones that you think you really need. This might just be the system for you. Deity did send out this wireless system for the purpose of this review, but as always, the opinions in this video are my own, and Deity had no say in the making of this video. And the first thing I want you to know about is the included lapel mic. Now, it is very common with a number of these wireless systems to have one of 2 strategies when it comes to the included lapel mic. One is they just don't include a lapel mic at all. The second is they include a very cheap, junky, poor sounding lapel mic, which essentially, if you want to get the best quality audio, you just take that and throw it out straight away. And the manufacturer includes that just so they can list it on the box and list it in the features, we include a lapel mic. Now, Deity has gone a completely different direction. They have included a pro level lapel mic with this kit. It feels, looks, and sounds like a pro level lapel mic. And if somebody handed me just this mic on its own and said, have a look at this, have a test of it, do a review of it, I would say, yes, this is a great mic, and I would say it probably would be $120, $130 microphone, and at that I would think it was really good value. And so this is something that has been completely neglected by the other manufacturers and the other wireless suppliers, and Deity has gone the whole other direction. Put a professional quality lapel mic in this kit. And I actually think you get the best sound quality out of this kit when using the lapel mic. Now, in this little reverberant room that I'm in right now, I have a tendency to think actually the microphone in the transmitter sounds a little bit better than the lapel mic, and I think that's because it is a very sensitive, very clean mic, and it tends to pick up the reverberations and the bounces off the sounds bouncing off the walls a little bit more. But the first time I ever tested this setup, I used the lapel mic, I was outside, and when I came home, I was absolutely stunned by how good the audio quality was. Now, this is going to be a real-world example of what compression looks like. So we're just going to use me, and I'm sort of in frame up to just above my waist, and have a look at the size of the tree behind me and sort of the environment around me. Now we are going to zoom in, and we're going to see how compression changes this image, even when I maintain myself the same size in the frame. Now, I think you'd be very hard pressed to say that audio didn't sound very good. I think it sounds excellent. And interestingly, I find with most lapel mics or lavalier microphones, I feel like that I have to do a lot of work in editing to get them to sound the way that I want. With this microphone, what you've just heard was straight out of camera, no editing whatsoever. You still did get quite a strong bass response with the lapel mic being on my shirt, which is fairly common. You could take that out with a very slight bit of editing. But I used it straight out of the camera. I didn't really worry about editing it whatsoever, and I thought it sounded very good. Certainly plenty good enough to publish on my YouTube videos. So if you're looking for a kit and you do plan or do want to use the lapel mic, the fact that you are getting a lapel mic, that the value of that lapel mic is probably equal to 75% of the total cost of the whole kit is a pretty compelling thing. The next thing I want you to know about is the analog limiter in this system. Now, just to understand what a limiter is something that can be part of an audio setup so that if you have set your gain too high, or there's something exciting happens in the scene where the volume levels of the sound you're recording goes too high, the limiter will step in and turn down that volume so you don't get clipping or distortion. Now, using a limiter or enacting the limiter is not quite as good as having the gain levels set properly in the first place, but what it can do is it can save you from having a situation where you have recorded something, either you've set the gain wrong or something really exciting happened and there were sort of loud noises or loud voices due to the excitement in the scene, and you end up getting clipping and distortion and you lose that audio completely. The analog limiter is going to step in and save that from happening. Now, there is a difference between an analog limiter and a digital limiter. Now, a digital limiter is something that steps in and attempts to do that after the analog signal from my voice has been converted into digital. And the problem with digital limiters is a big part of the distortion and the problems come at that conversion from an analog signal to a digital signal. Generally speaking, analog limiters are reserved for very high-end audio equipment. And the fact that it is included in this tiny little package is really unbelievable. The next feature I want you to know about is the USB-C connectivity with the receiver on this unit. It has a USB-C cord that comes in the pack that plugs into the receiver and can plug into your computer or other compatible USB-C devices. This turns this microphone system into what would be called a USB audio interface, allowing you to use it for sort of Zoom calls or conference calls or other things where you need a special dedicated microphone that goes into your computer or a desktop microphone that goes into your computer. This is a tiny little pack that has that functionality. So not only is this thing going to work with your camera, with your phone, with your tablets, it's also going to work with your computer with a USB-C plug. And not only is this such a great system with such incredible sound quality, if you get to a point in the future where you decide you want to take your video production to the next level, to a professional level, Deity has made these little pocket wireless systems compatible with their Deity Connect professional level wireless microphone system. And they've got a number of different transmitter and receivers as part of that have been used on documentaries and video production and commercial video production. And so if you decide that you want to take things to the next level or you want to expand the way that you are using this system, with any of the other systems out there, you're just going to have to take these units and throw them out. You're done with them and then you're moving on and you're buying the new pro level gear. With the Deity Pocket Wireless, it's compatible with the pro level gear. It can step up and be used with the pro level gear. And I'll just give you an example of that now. What I've got here is this as the Deity HD-TX. This is a professional grade plug-on transmitter, which means that at the top of it is a plug that you actually plug the whole microphone into the top of. This is the Deity S-MIC 2S, which is one of their best little shotgun microphones, a professional grade shotgun microphone. Now this unit is a pro level unit and it is even capable of internal recording a backup track to an SD card in the little unit. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just show you how simple this is. I'm going to turn off the transmitter I've got on my collar now. I'm going to turn on the Deity HD-TX with the S-MIC 2S on it, which I've already synced previously with the receiver on the camera. And what you're going to see is it is just going to seamlessly change over from this audio source to this audio source. Testing 1, 2, 3. There you go. How easy was that? It is just, actually, the first time I did this, I was shocked by how easy it was. I mean, I just couldn't believe it. I thought I was going to have to do something else. But right now, you're listening to me with the Deity S-MIC 2S going into the Deity HD-TX, and it is sending that signal to the receiver from the Pocket Wireless. Once again, a mid-$500 professional-grade audio setup using the receiver from my Pocket Wireless. I don't know of any other system that you are going to be able to do this with. In addition to those 4 sort of game-changing features that I've just gone over, it is otherwise a very well-rounded, very robust, very reliable wireless microphone system. And the first thing I'll say is in all the time that I've been using it, I have not had a single dropout. I have not lost audio one single time because I had a dropout in the signal. This is in real-world use in areas where there's lots of Wi-Fi signals, in areas where there's no Wi-Fi signals at a range of different distances. And I know these distance tests are super popular with these wireless microphone systems right now, but I think in practical terms, an actual distance test is much less important than the real-world use of having the unit on you, being in different environments, having your cell phone next to the unit, all these different ways, being at different positions to the camera, closer and further away. These are real world ways that you will use this. And in all these real world scenarios that I've used it over the past approximately 2 months, I have not had a single dropout. Another thing that's really clever about these units is the shape of them. Now, I didn't really think much when I took these out of the package. It didn't occur to me that the shape would actually be a feature of this system. But because they're sort of longer and less square, they just sit on your collar a bit nicer. They just sort of hang there because their center of gravity is low. The other thing is because of their shape, they have a much longer clip. So the clip is the longest and the most secure of any system that I've used to date. No risk of them falling off. I do have some of the other systems in the past with the sort of the more square or more symmetrical shapes. They have a tendency to turn around or be pointing in the wrong direction, or when they're on their collar, rather than having a center of gravity that sort of pulls down against you, the center of gravity will be too high, so they'll tip forward and fall out like that. So I think that was a really clever design, just making them sort of more long and less square. And it's a benefit that you really don't realize how good it is until you're using it. Now, in the receiver itself, it has a really easy to read, intuitive interface. It is going to, on that interface, it is going to tell you your audio levels. It is going to tell you how high you have set your gain level on the transmitter. It is going to tell you your wireless signal, how strong your wireless signal is between the transmitter and the receiver. And it's going to tell you the current battery status of both the transmitter and the receiver. It's super clear to read. It's super intuitive. And just at a glance, you know everything that's going on. And it's kind of a no-brainer. So it's not like I feel like I had to figure anything out. It's very similar to sort of a modern iPhone or smartphone. It's one of those things that everything's intuitive. You look at it, it makes sense, and you move on. It gets out of your way, and you've got the information you need. Another thing I love about these units is it's got a physical switch to turn the transmitter and the receiver on and off. So rather than like a software button where you push and hold and wait for the thing to boot up, this you just slide it across, it clicks in place, it clicks very firmly, so there's no risk of bumping it or turning it off. And you know that once you've slid them to one side, they're on, and you slide them to the other side and they're off. That's it. It's completely straightforward. And there's something just oddly satisfying about having a product with a tactile physical switch. I don't know what it is. In practical terms, it means that you know that the thing is on or off. But sort of in personal terms, it's just kind of nice to have an actual switch for a change. Now, there is an included mini dead cat for the transmitter that clicks on. It stays in place pretty well. In fact, when it's clicked on properly, you can actually hold the dead cat and it will hold the unit. You can actually hold the unit by the dead cat and it won't come off. That's how well it sticks on. It can be a little bit of fiddliness to get it on, so you do have to make sure you've sort of lined it up. But once you've lined it up and you've got the clips in place, it's not going anywhere and it is quite secure. And the unit comes with a high quality protective case, which is really nice. Everything fits in there nicely and you can just throw it in your bag. You don't have to worry about the units being damaged. You can just sort of take it with you wherever you go. It's sort of the one thing I throw in my camera bag everywhere I'm going nowadays. Just make sure that I've got my cables and everything all in one place. And if I do need a wireless microphone system, I've got it there with me. It also includes all the cables you need. So you've got your charging cable, you've got your USB-C to USB-C cable to hook up to your computer, and you've got your USB-C to TRRS cable, which has auto sensing, so you can plug it into your camera. It works out it's in a camera and works with that, or you can plug it into your computer or phone and it auto senses what sort of plugs it needs to use or what sort of connection it needs to use to connect those to those as well. So those two cables will basically cover you for every single scenario. And if you're interested in the Deity Pocket Wireless, I will put links in the description down below. I'm doing some best price links now, so you can go through and click through and it will give you the top suppliers, so you can price check between a number of the top suppliers and make sure you're currently getting the best price on this unit. If you're interested in getting the best audio for your video with the gear that you can afford or the gear that you already have, that's one of the things I do on this channel. So be sure to subscribe to the channel and don't forget to hit that bell notification.